So I was asked the question, why does the Kanban aspect of complexity help over and above what people would do in traditional project management? First of all, just to give a bit of context to the question, complexity consists of Kanban, Conevan, which is a complexity framework, leadership decision framework, kind of like a compass, if you like, to figure out what to do next, and Agile leadership. And the Kanban aspect of complexity is what this question is about. So let's zone in on that. So Kanban is a strategy to maximize or optimize the delivery of value through a visual pull-based system. So we want to optimize value. We don't want to be optimizing for keeping people busy. We want to get more work through the system. And so Kanban, as per kanbanguides.org, is a way of optimizing that value. Visual in terms of, can we see signals? Can we observe signals about what's going on with the work? And pull-based system, pull being the opposite of push. If your boss says, do something today, they push it into you and they say, you have to do it right now. And then you're doing that on top of the other work. And then someone else pushes more work and then you're spending more. Now you need your knees and you need extra balancing and so on. That is detrimental to flow. So it Kanban, you pull work. And so your boss might give you some work. You say, put on the stack over there. Okay, thank you very much. When as soon as I've got a slot, I'll bring it in, maybe 10 minutes, maybe 1 hour, maybe 2 hours, maybe tomorrow. But I'll put on my stack. And as soon as I've got this item in progress out of the way, then I'll bring this item in. That's a pull system. So Kanban uses that approach. And when you use a pull system, you squeeze out the waiting time from how long something takes. How long something takes is typically known as cycle time, might be known as flow time. You might have heard expressions like lead time, for example. In Kanban guide, they use the expression cycle time. We're not trying to redefine what the dictionary words mean and all that. We're just trying to explain what we mean. A starting point to finish point. How long does something take? And more than 90% of how long something takes, believe it or not, is waiting time. And when the work is complex, it goes up over 95%. So when people try to get you to do multiple things at the same time, that drives up the waiting time even more. So you can trend towards 99% of how long something takes being waiting time, which is very wasteful, obviously. It means that things can take 100 times longer than they should. And I've seen that where items take 100 times longer than they should. So traditional project management is about resource utilization and keeping people busy. Kanban is more about flow efficiency, of optimizing flow. So we're squeezing out all the waiting time. And that might mean that actually it's more flow efficient for me and Darren, for example, to work together on something together, which might look resource inefficient because, surely Darren should do his thing and I should do my thing. But actually, from a flow efficiency point of view, because Darren has some skills that will really complement what we do, if we swarm together, if we work together as an ensemble, as a pair, or as a group, as a team, to get some work done, actually we get more work done. Mob programming, or it's now called ensemble programming, has a similar approach. Constant whip, very similar to Kanban. They're all pull-based systems where essentially we work on something when we've got the capacity to work on it. And that means we're focused. So we can do focus and finish, focus and finish. Traditional project management, typically about pushing work onto people before they're ready to take on work, about keeping people busy. That can be appropriate in situations where maybe you've got really manual tasks. I'm not saying you should never have a push system. It can be appropriate, but even then, pull systems tend to be much more flow efficient. So, long story short, if you want to get more work done in less time, Kanban is a great way of doing that. And I've seen cycle times drop down to a third to a quarter of what they were. How long things took were taking, 4 times less, and a quarter of the time rather. And I've seen throughput more than double with Kanban-based systems. So it's like a no-brainer, really. Even if you just use Kanban from complexity, even if you just use Kanban guides, Kanban guide as per kanbanguides.org, even following those 3 practices with the 4 flow metrics and using a definition of workflow, which are policies about how the work moves, that will make a massive difference to to the flow. And also a big differentiator between Kanban as well and traditional project management is that the work items tend to be smaller. They're still valuable, but we don't bring elephants in. We don't carry on big elephants. It's like, there you go. And complexity rises the bigger the work item. So it's better generally to break down work items to be right sized, to be small enough to fit within a reasonable time frame that's, I guess, normal for that team. Let's say 12 days or less, 85% of the time, depending on what your charts are saying, or it might even start with a guess. But traditional project managers, they tend to bring in items that might be months long. And that means that your switching cost is very high. So if we get disrupted in the morning and someone says, oh, we need to go in that direction instead of this direction, well, we've just started a number of items with several months of cycle time in there, and we would have to waste a lot of that work that's unfinished to move in a different direction. So our switching cost would be very, very high. If you do Kanban really well, your work item size is smaller, you get work item done quicker. So actually, if we do discover that we've got enough value in that direction, and we should switch to this direction, our switching cost is much easier. So there's maybe three good reasons there why Kanban could be a big help to traditional project management: improving the flow, reducing waiting time, getting more throughput, reducing your cycle time, reducing your work item size so you can reduce your switching cost, and so your teams actually have more time to think. Because a lot of the time, the items that we're actually delivering, we shouldn't actually deliver them. So if people had time to think about it, oh, maybe we shouldn't do this, maybe we should do something else. So 3 very good reasons for using Kanban.